In this episode, I will tell you 13 biggest mistakes that expats make in the Philippines. Number 1, they don't have a way out. When coming to the Philippines, they never plan for the worst case scenario. They don't have a plan B or a way out of the Philippines. They burn all the bridges back home and they just simply don't care what happens to them because they can only see the rainbow, sunshines, and butterflies. They only see the young women and what they think is actually a good cost of living, which it isn't, which we'll get into in this video. They don't plan ahead. They don't plan for those rainy days or for situations where they have to actually go back to their home country or when they run out of money. Remember, if you're coming to this country, you must have a way out. I recommend to put away at least half of your income or your savings or your budget. I know that may sound like a lot to you guys, but trust me, money comes, money goes, and it goes a lot faster in the Philippines than you think. Number 2, they think it is cheap. People think that the Philippines is cheap or affordable. They have this idea that they'll live like a king on $1,000 based on hundreds, if not thousands, of videos that famous expat vloggers in the Philippines will have you believe. Perhaps it's possible. Perhaps you could live on 1,000, but I guarantee it will not be like a king. If you live like $1,000 a month, you will not live in the city center. You'll have to be away, either in the province or on the outskirts of town, meaning you have to come back into the city regularly for groceries and other necessities. At the end of the day, you wish you lived closer. But that's besides the point. Medical care is also expensive depending on what you need. Some things are less expensive, of course, like internet or food. If you want to eat like locals, like balut or chicken feet or intestines, yes, of course, those are cheaper. And rice all day, perhaps. But if you want to have a normal diet, good luck trying to find cheap vegetables. Vegetables and fruit are much higher than North America when it comes to prices. And that can translate to many different things. So it is not cheap if you think the Philippines is going to be cheap. Not to mention the money you have to pay your girlfriend, her family, your nephews and nieces, or sick grandparents, and try to upgrade their lives as well since you're a foreigner now. If you think you can come here and live alone and still save some money, good luck trying to take women out on dates and not pay for anything because there's no such thing as 50-50, at least not for the common man. Number 3, think women are easy. That's the biggest mistake that many men make here. They think that they can just come here and they'll be a superstar randomly because videos about interviews in the Philippines show you that women either do not care about age or appearance and they just want a good man because they are so-called traditional women. They're not. Filipinos are far from it. They do not care. They're the same as any other woman in any other country. The only difference is they're the cheapest. That's all. And your money will still be gone before you know it. They are not easy in a sense that they are just looking for your personality. They are easy in a sense that you can afford them much cheaper than any other country probably. And also, they just see you as an ATM regardless of how much money you have. So sometimes their ignorance actually benefits us because they think you're a millionaire essentially when you're not. Perhaps to them you might be because you have a lot more money than any of their local Filipino boyfriends. That's another thing. They all have local Filipino boyfriends, if not husbands and children. Number 4, commit too early to anything. Many men come to the Philippines and they commit too early, starting with their place they live. They commit to a town and never explore. They never go outside that city or even understand the different dynamics of different areas in this country. So they commit too early to an apartment. They sign a 1-year lease, a 2-year lease I've heard of. They put down 4 or 5 months or even in some cases pay the entire year all up front just to save $100 or so. They're stupid when they commit too early when a location. Even with women, they commit too early with the first girl they meet at a bar. The first girl that bats an eye at them and they think automatically that she's the one, that she's the love of their life now, and they can live a happily ever after story. They commit too early to a location, to a woman, and to the country itself. If you're coming from North America all the way across the world to Southeast Asia, why would you settle in the Philippines immediately? Try different places, especially Thailand, especially Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Indonesia. There are so many places that are amazingly wonderful. Perhaps a woman should not be the only thing you want, but then again, that is the primary reason why any man would ever come to the Philippines. Number 5, disclose their finances. Many men are stupid enough to tell a woman how much money they make because they feel like they can impress them. But all that does is put a target on your back. There's no reason to tell a woman how much money you make. I suggest never letting them know unless you're getting involved into a serious relationship. Even at that point, I would at least divide it into half and let them know you're making only that much. Tell them you have a budget of $1,000 and they can only have 200 of it. They can do what they want with it. Send it to the family, spend it on a new purse, clothes, shoes, whatever. The other 800 is for the budget of your lifestyle. Something like that could work, I assume, because that way at least you have a young Filipino girl that's with you. Even though you're paying for her, there's a limit, right? And don't ever give in to any extra expenses that they want. So, number 5 is to not disclose your finances to anyone, not just the women, but also the men, the security guards, the motorcycle drivers, the taxi drivers, random men you meet at a bar. Do not let people know how much money you have. There is no benefit to you. Number 6, support the family. Many men, the first chance they get, they want to impress the woman. They give money to her family as gifts, or just to try to help. Usually, I would say never do this because it never has a positive outcome. Actually, all the time. However, men want to feel like heroes. They want to be the white knight in shining armor and help her and her family to get into her good books. Don't forget, you don't need to do that in this country. There's no need for you to support her family. Actually, that's a lie. There is a high need for it if you are 70, 80 years old and she's only in her 20s, because there's no other way she would ever be interested in you. Even if you're in your 60s and 50s, if she's in her 20s, she has no interest in you romantically, despite what you might think, despite what your Filipina says to you, to your face, or whispers in your ear, or makes you feel. It's all bullshit. It's all made up. It's all a game. It's all to get money out of you. Does not matter how she makes you feel. The reality is a very different thing. Number 7, to date a bar girl. I can't believe we have to say this. Do not date bar girls. Do not date them to date them in a relationship purpose. Date them to have fun. Date them to take them to places just so you can smash and have sex and forget them. Date them to have a good time, to show your friends how you are dating an attractive woman. Date them while wearing protection. Date them for those purposes, but never to be in a relationship. They come with extremely heavy baggage, and it could be in many different forms. Psychological trauma, mental trauma, having sex with thousands of men. These things will have a drain on their personality, and that is a bad thing. When I tell you, if you date a bar girl, you can never take that out of her system. Number 8, don't have health insurance. Many men come here without a plan to take care of their health. They don't work out. They drink beer all day. They eat fried chicken, and one day their heart gives out. And good luck trying to get to the hospital if you live outside a city center. Even in the city, good luck trying to get through traffic just to get to the hospital and hope that you live. So have health insurance of some kind, depending on your needs. Medical insurance, travel insurance, something to protect yourself in case something happens. And I'm not talking about like a secondary type of healthcare. I'm talking about a good one. Ensure you read the reviews and get a proper medical health insurance. Number 9, you never leave the neighborhood. Many men wake up in the morning, go to the nearest bar, have breakfast at 3 times the price it should be, get a beer, sit there for hours, and to do the same thing all day long until their so-called girlfriend gets home. Try leaving your neighborhood. Try going outside. Try doing different things and actually take part in activities. Learn to do a hobby, a new hobby. Learn to dive. Learn to scuba dive. Learn to go hiking. Do new things. This is your golden years. If not, at least this is your holiday or your trip. Or you're in a new country, so why not partake in some of the actual local cultural traditional things. You will be surprised how many decent, genuine people you might meet if you're not thinking with your small head. Number 10, lending money. Why do men lend money to other people in the Philippines thinking they'll ever get it back? You'll never get your money back. If you do, it will be in small increments and the rest will just be forgotten about. Whenever you lend money, consider it gone. Do not lend money to anyone at all. Not to her family, not to a friend, to a cousin, to a brother, to a sick anyone. Do not lend money, and if you do, consider charity and gone. Don't expect to get it back, because you have to explain why you want your money back. Number 11, they don't use protection with random women. HIV, STD, I've said this last year actually, and even recently some popular YouTuber made a video about it. This person's actually making videos I've been talking about for the past year. I have a feeling they wrote all the titles down and just making it now, but that's not the point. Regardless, HIV and AIDS and other STDs are extremely high in the Philippines. Protect yourself at all costs. It's not worth it. I know nobody wants to wear a condom. It's not interesting or fun, but at least get to know them. Spend some time with them. After a few weeks, a couple weeks of knowing her daily routine, if you feel comfortable that you trust her, then take off that wrapper. Number 12, they get involved with the wrong expats. Many men go to these bars thinking that they've met immediate friends just because someone else is a foreigner. It does not guarantee you friendship. does not guarantee you trust. These men, a lot of them, come here for the wrong reasons and they end up drinking at the bar all day long. You might get involved with the wrong crowd and start using drugs, getting involved in criminal activity and other things which I will not mention that are far worse than these. Use your imagination. Some of these men are the worst in the world. Yes, all of us. One of us, we cannot all be good, right? So, there are these men out there, and the Philippines just recently changed the age of consent. So think of it that way. How many of these men have came here decades ago and continue to be here? Number 13, dating single mothers. Do not date a single mother. You do not have to. You don't need to. I don't know why someone would date a single mother. There's nothing wrong with mothers. The mothers that have babies, that had babies and now are at a situation in their life where they might need some help in a relationship. What I'm trying to tell you, if you're starting from zero, why would you pick someone that already has a child? Because this creates many big problems in the future. Obviously financial problems, and affection and time, and you're competing against another man's child. Why would you raise another man's child? I don't understand. This is not your home country. You have options. That's the difference. You have many, many options. Do not get involved with these women, and they'll lie to you. They'll tell you they don't have kids. Immediately, once you find out, please leave the situation. It never ends well. Deep down, we all know this. This is the truth. There is something wrong with the single mother in a sense that they provide no benefit to you. They'll always put their child first, rightfully so. I do not blame them for this, but as a single man, brand new to a country where you have a plethora of options, why would you choose a single mother? I don't understand. Despite how attractive, beautiful, sexy, and fit she might be, there are dozens, if not tens of millions of women who don't have kids yet. They will at some point, I'm sure, but you try to catch them before that happens because you save yourself a lot of headaches. No disrespect to any single mother. I appreciate what they do and how strong they are and how they have to raise the child, but I'm not involved in that. You can do that by yourself. You made decisions and you live with them. I don't want to raise your child. I don't want the crazy ex-boyfriend to come one day and extort me for money or try to blackmail me or decide that one day he wants to have the child back and I need to pay for it. There are far too many problems when it comes to dating single mothers. These are 13 mistakes. Of course, there are literally hundreds of mistakes. I want to know, what do you think are biggest mistakes that foreigners make? I will make another video about this in separate video. Click the like button, the subscribe button, share this video so we can spread the truth about this country. Yesterday's best comment comes from Vito Schulman, who says, absolutely correct, there is no reason to be married in 2024. This is what we talked about, how I said there's no benefit to the man, and Vito also agrees with me. The worst comment comes from Christo Fort Otto, who says, I'm 60 and still could find there a 19-year-old female for marriage, kids, and no more time pressure at 70, 80, 90. Still possible. Always age does not matter to them. Wonderful. This person obviously missed the point. These are the type of men that enable women to behave this way. Completely clueless. Thanks for watching. God bless.